everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, Raised on Sports. It does look a little differently today because I don't have my dad next to me on the screen, but I do have my dad next to me on the couch. Surprise! No, he surprised me this weekend, and it's Dad's weekend for my sorority Alpha Chi Omega. And I was so happy when I saw him wake me up, but I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah, I was sitting there about a week ago thinking I wanted to come visit you. I knew it was going to be very tough. Were unable to come out for Parents' Weekend, and I knew this was Dad's weekend, but with a lot going on, football and everything, all the activities, it was just tough. And then last weekend, I thought, you know what, I want to make this happen. Because that's kind of what we do. And we'll tell you more about share more about that personal stories later in a life lesson about making things happen. So I booked the ticket and I showed up.
Well, I'm so happy you're here. This week I've been feeling a little homesick, which is not usual for me. I mean, I love Clemson so much, but when my parents did come for Parents' Weekend and I didn't think my dad was coming for Dad's Weekend, I was like, I really do miss them. I haven't seen them since August 4th, which has been a while. It's been a long time. So when he woke me up and surprised me on Friday morning, it was truly so comforting and such a good surprise. Like, I didn't think he could pull it off because I feel like I find out everything. I'm not very good with surprises, but
well, I did have some help. I had the help of your fantastic roommates. So thank you, Alex and Bella, for letting me in and surprising my girl. And here, maybe we'll show you a quick little snippet of that.
But we had such a fun weekend. All of Friday, all of Saturday. It's now Sunday, and he does have to leave today. But we wanted to film a little clip of our podcast together and kind of show you around where I showed him this weekend.
Love
Does that sound like a good idea?
Let's do it. Let's go see Clemson.
Let's go. Welcome to Clemson University, the best school in the nation. Let me tell you, this is where my dad came and visited me this weekend, which has seriously been so much fun. 2 years ago, I chose this school. I was really hesitant at first, if I'm being honest, and then took a leap of faith, and it's over 2,000 miles away from my home, which is kind of crazy to think about, but I did choose this school for sports, which is kind of a full circle moment, and I couldn't be happier here. Clemson's the best.
Hi everyone, welcome to Death Valley. This is where I took my dad yesterday, and we watched Clemson defeat Virginia. We sat at the end zone, but right now I'm standing right next to Howard's Rock. This is exactly where Dabo touches a rock and the whole team runs down the hill. The best college entrance in college football, I've got to say. But now we are 6-1, which is so exciting. And now we're on the hunt for the ACC Championship. So it was a great game in Death Valley, and my dad had a great time as well.
Welcome to downtown Clemson. This is where we eat, shop, and go out. It looks a little empty right now, but last night after a huge win against Virginia, it was packed to the brim. I took my dad here last night where we ate and watched the other college football games, and we had a lot of fun.
Welcome back, everybody, to Raised on Sports. I am back home in beautiful California after a very long 5-hour flight home from Clemson. But I made it home, and Ray, looks like you are still in your apartment.
It's Monday morning, start of a new week, and I'm still here, but I'm so happy that you came this weekend. It was seriously so much fun, but we still had to talk about all the games, all the sports that are going on. It is the biggest crossover season in sports. We were just talking about it, Dad. We got both footballs going on, college football and NFL. We have NHL starting. We have MLB World Series going on. We have the WNBA Championships that just happened last night. What else? What am I missing?
NBA begins this week too. So it is a very hot time to be a sports fan. How ironic that we're starting our podcast probably during one of the busiest sports times of the year, but really cool.
I mean, we kind of timed it out perfectly.
All we need now is a tennis championship and a golf championship happening this weekend, and we could be complete. So
our podcast would be 3 hours long.
Oh,
Maybe
geez.
it's a good thing that it's not tennis and golf. But we need to just kind of go right into it because we got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
College football games, we'll always start off with that. I think we should start off with the Virginia Clemson game because we did go to the game. We sat at the end zone and we were really close to the field. All the touchdowns happened on our end zone
That
versus
was
all the
great.
field goals happened on the other end zone. So we found
Great.
ourselves in the perfect spot for the weekend.
That was awesome. Yeah, that game was a lot of fun. We were able to get the coaches tickets and sit down with all the coaches and even the high school recruits, which was a lot of fun. I thought it was always fun seeing a recruit walk by, and we're trying to figure out
Where are they
where's he
from, who
what
they
sport's
are.
he gonna play. So
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. But the game itself, amazing game. Tigers started a little slow. I thought Cade did not have one of his better games of the year, but it just shows that good team defense and Team O kind of really helped out, and they pulled away after about the second quarter. Good running game, but defensively they really locked in, and they look good. Good job to Dabo moving on in the ACC.
For sure. Dabo's doing a great job kind of after I feel like we've had a bad first quarter for the last couple of games, kind of turning it around. I mean, like you said, Cade Klubnik had a very slow start and gave away an interception right in the beginning of the game, which
Yeah.
kind of turned things around. It had Virginia lead 10-3. But he still had another 300-yard game and 3 touchdown passes. But also, I think Phil Maffa was kind of the star of the show. He had 2 running touchdowns, which was good to see him kind of
Mhm.
not come out of his shell. I haven't seen him really shine this year yet, and I thought he did good. Another notable person was Troy Stellato. He had
Yes.
the flea flicker play where he
Yep.
caught that, which kind of changed the game, brought the energy up in the stadium. So I thought they had a good game after the first quarter.
Yeah, they played well. I think they have to somehow though get past that first quarter, whatever jitters or sleepness, or wake up a little bit, because once they get to playing somebody pretty good, they're going to need to play well in that first quarter. So,
Exactly.
but
All
overall,
4
great
quarters
job,
count.
Tigers.
Great job, and we move on.
Yes, sir.
Next, we had a big game that we were able to watch, the Alabama-Tennessee game.
Oh,
Bama was up 7-0 at the half.
mm-hmm.
And then Dylan Sampson rushed for 139 yards and had 2 out of the 3 touchdowns for Tennessee, which was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But Milroe struggled a little bit. He hasn't really been the same. I think I said in the last podcast, I thought he was going to win the Heisman. Like, beginning of the year, I thought Milroe, he's a great quarterback. I thought he was going to win the Heisman. But he's been struggling. I don't really see him in the top contenders anymore.
Yeah, I think a lot of those SEC teams have kind of caught up to how to defend him a little bit. That's what you learn.
Mm-hmm.
He's not using his legs as much as I think he should, because he is a very good quarterback. But I think teams in the SEC are just now. It just shows you how competitive that league is. Tennessee, so happy for those players, those fans, those students. I don't know if they needed another storm field.
They didn't need to take down the goalpost.
It was a great win. Now start winning like you belong.
Bama still has Mizzou and LSU on their schedule.
Yeah.
So they got some tough games coming up.
It'll be
hopefully
real
they can
interesting
stick in
though,
it.
right? That's what is that? That's 2 losses. No, that's
2 losses,
3 losses.
Vandy.
2 losses for Bama.
Yep.
Stat check
Vandy and Tennessee. Yeah, so they still have a tough schedule, but let's move on to the Miami-Louisville game because we also watched this game while we were eating dinner. And as a Clemson fan, I am rooting for Miami to lose because I want to be number 1 in the ACC and get to the playoffs. But they just kind of took it away for one more week. They barely survived yet another week. How did they do it?
Team with 9 lives, I guess. I don't know. They hung on and won another for another one. Louisville had that game. They had a shot. It was back and forth. I mean, geez, when you're scoring 50 and 40 points respectively, it's It's crazy. It shows that there was no defense. It was just an offensive showdown, and whoever had the ball last was going to win that one. So
For sure. They
Miami
had
held on though.
the game tied 38-38 early in the fourth, but Cam Ward is just a very dynamic player. He
Yeah.
has a school record of 7 consecutive 300-yard passing
Holy
performances.
cow.
But he's kind of the whole team, I think.
Might have put himself right back in the Heisman race, maybe too, with that
Yeah,
performance. Keep
true.
that
And
up.
now they're undefeated, 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
But there isn't really anyone they play that is like a Bama or a Tennessee, or even like they don't play us,
Yep.
Clemson, which can be a good game until the ACC championship.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yes, exactly. Cross my fingers there. But they don't play anyone that great.
Mm-hmm.
But in the fact that they're almost losing to Cal, almost losing to Louisville, are they
But
that great?
with college
they win.
football, but they win. They're not almost losing those. They're actually winning them, whether it's by 1 point or 50 points. It's a win. And yeah, should be a good race. Should be a good race in the ACC. Yep.
Next, the biggest game of the day. Georgia, Texas, college game day was there.
Yeah.
Everyone on college game day, but everyone picked Texas to win.
Including myself, right?
Including myself.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I don't know how to say his name, but Trevor Etienne.
Etienne.
There we go. Won this game for Georgia.
Yes.
He had 3 running touchdowns.
Yes.
He, like, when we were watching the game, all you heard is his name over and over and over again. I think they found a way to kind of get around their defense and really run the ball, and that what made the difference in this game. Yeah, but let's talk about the pass interference call.
That probably, well, I mean, it didn't change the outcome of the game, but it is definitely the call that's getting talked about a lot yesterday and today. Yeah, we saw it. We were sitting there watching. In my opinion, no, absolutely not. That was not pass interference. That was an interception all the way. So I'm glad that they got the call right. That bottom line, that's what matters. But in Kirby Smart's press conference, he did say, well, it's funny now that if you throw bottles and trash onto the field, you're going to get penalties changed and calls reversed on you. So I thought that was a little jab back at him. But it's unfortunate. I did see that Texas was fined this morning. I think like $250,000. They were fined for that. I think Georgia just really kind of said, hey, we're still the top dog, no pun intended there, in the SEC. And Texas, welcome to our league. And I think they really just kind of slapped them around a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy game. I didn't expect Georgia to take the lead and keep the lead. But with the water bottles and trash, I think that's the first time fans have ever really initiated a ref to change their call.
If they did, yeah. But it was. I mean, the coaches were going crazy. They showed the replay on the scoreboard over and over and over again. I think they did that purposely, trying to get the refs' attention to look up at it. Maybe they did, because they did have a very long conference together about it. But it was pretty wild.
Something should be noted is Quinn Ewers played horrible.
Yeah, hey, had to go with Manning. Had to put Manning in.
Yeah, they put in Manning in, and he didn't play much better. It's going to be a fun couple weeks until the college
we're
playoffs.
Getting real close to the official brackets possibly coming out, and then they'll change every single week. So yeah, it's exciting. We got a couple weeks left. We got some new teams in the top 25. We still have our Army Navy has remained undefeated. Yeah. We did have some NFL football yesterday. Wasn't real exciting of a day. No real marquee matchups. We had another game in London. Jacksonville finally got a win, which was nice. But probably the big game that everybody's kind of talking about this morning was that Pittsburgh Jets game late last night. I happened to watch on the plane ride home, which was a lot of fun. But Steelers took down the Jets with their new quarterback of Russell Wilson, and handed Aaron Rodgers and his new toy, Devontae Adams, another loss. So
I think it's interesting. I saw lots of articles about Devontae Adams now going to the Jets. All of my friends who are Jets fans from New York were so excited to see them finally kind of get over the hump that they have been going through for the last couple of years. But yeah, there's nothing that I thought stood out yesterday in the NFL games. That was probably the biggest thing. Honestly, I was watching the WNBA game at the same
Holy
time.
cow.
So I wasn't really locked into the Jets game. I was watching the WNBA game, which we need to talk about. This was
Yes.
crazy. The Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty were in game 5 of the championship, and it was an incredible game to overtime. They were neck and neck. The entire game, the biggest lead was 4 points in the second quarter from the Liberty. Besides the ending score, it was 5 points by the Liberty in overtime.
Yeah.
Every quarter was just neck and neck, and it was a thrilling game.
Yeah, it was very exciting. I did watch this as well on the plane, which was very nice. And yeah, it was great. It was exciting. It was back and forth. It was a defensive battle. Neither team shot the ball real well. I know Inesco was, I think, like 0 for 20 on threes.
Which is not normal for her.
Which is not normal. Breanna Stewart missed another couple big free throws in the end of regulation. But yeah, it was a nail biter. It was close, and good for the Liberty. They are the last original WNBA team now to win a championship. So congrats to
look at
them.
that fact.
Yeah, and a lot of great fans and a lot of celebrities were there. So it was good to see all those fans get a win at home.
I love seeing the WNBA kind of rise up and have famous people come and have celebrities come and just have the recognition that it deserves. The WNBA game was so much fun to watch. I think you said Breanna Stewart was having some free throw trouble, but at the end of the fourth, she made the 2 and tied it up.
When it counted.
Yeah, she made the 2 free throws in overtime. They kind of just took it away, and they ended up winning 67-62.
Yeah,
I want to say.
Yep.
Great game. Happy for New York Liberty. New York celebrating with the WNBA and the Yankees now in the World Series.
Oh yeah, World Series.
So
we're set with Dodgers Yankees. Dodgers winning their game last night. So yeah, I think that's what Major League Baseball wanted. That's what fans wanted. That's what the average baseball fan wanted. Just a good old classic Yankees Dodgers World Series that'll begin on Friday. So
yeah,
looking forward to that. That'll be exciting. You finally got Shohei Ohtani in a World Series. Something he's said all along. That's all he's ever wanted. You'll have the big bats of the Yankees coming. So it should be a great series. I'm really excited for this one. I'll be watching a lot of baseball over the next week and a half or so.
I agree. I mean, we do have to touch on the Yankees game was a great game. Juan Soto, he had a 3-run homer with 2 outs in the 10th and just took it away for the Yankees. I know every Yankees fan out there was running around the room like screaming. Everyone loves that guy. I think it's going to be a matchup between him and Shohei Ohtani. Just who can hit those home runs in this World Series, because they're both great players.
Great for TV, great for baseball, and great for us fans. So it'll be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Shout out to Tyler Smith, the big Yankee fan, Riley's boyfriend, who will be cheering on for another championship. So
now we have to go, Dad, into our picks for next week.
Where is it? Right shoulder. There it is. There it is.
See it? Dad, you're 9-2. I'm
9-2. 9-2 in 2 weeks. That's take me to Vegas. Let's go.
Anyways, so
what do we got this week?
This week, there's not a lot of crazy games that are big. I think College Game Day would probably be at LSU, Texas A&M. Have they announced it yet?
They might have. I have, like I said, it's early for me, and I have not been on Twitter yet, so I don't know where they're going this week. But
yeah, we can start off with that game. LSU is 6-1 with their 1 loss being from USC. Week 1,
Mm-hmm.
They beat Ole Miss 2 weeks ago, which was the big game, and they beat Arkansas last week. They also have Bama next weekend, so 2 big
Ooh, a little
games
looking
in a
ahead.
row.
Okay.
Texas A&M is also 6-1 with their one loss being against Notre Dame.
Week 1 also.
Yep. They've beaten Mizzou, I want to say Arkansas and Florida. So it should be a close matchup. I'm going to pick LSU. I
Okay.
think they'll take it away. They have beat great teams, and I think they're a better team than Texas A&M.
All right. We've had LSU on our pick'ems for the last 2 weeks, for both weeks here. So I don't know why LSU is getting so much love being on your pick sheet here, but it is a big game. It's probably the only game where it's 2 ranked teams playing this weekend against each other. I have gone with LSU for 2 weeks in a row, and I think this is where it stops. I am jumping off the train of the Tigers, and give me the home Aggies. And is an upset? Would that be an upset? A little bit of an
I
upset?
mean, they do have the spread minus 2.5, so no.
All right. Well,
I don't really know, but it's
give
at Texas.
me A&M. I'm putting it in.
Okay. All right, lock it in.
There it is.
Next, our picks are Mizzou, Bama, which
Okay.
are 2 ranked teams. The spread is minus 15 Bama. Missouri beat Vanderbilt week 4, and
Yep.
the only loss is to A&M.
Okay.
Bama's, obviously, we already talked about this. Their record is 5-2 with their loss to Tennessee and Vandy, but they did beat Georgia, which just beat Texas. So it's literally like a spider web everywhere.
Yep.
I'm going to pick Bama. I am picking the favorite. I think that after last week losing to Tennessee, they are going to have a fire under their butt and take that anger into this week. It's going to be a hard game. It's not going to be easy, but I think they have the strength to do it if their defense holds up.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this one as well. I will pick Bama. I just think coming back home to Tuscaloosa, you got your 2 losses now. That's it. There's no more flaws can happen in the season. So yeah, I will take Bama and Jalen Milrose to get back on track here. I'll pick Bama as well.
Yes. So we agree on that one.
All right.
And
that's
now
good.
we have to pick the other 2 ranked team game is Notre Dame and Navy at the MetLife Stadium.
Yes.
Notre Dame has a spread of minus 13.
Okay.
Notre Dame's ranked 12. Navy's ranked 24, I want to say.
Okay.
Round there.
Yeah.
Navy is undefeated, 6-0, but they haven't really beaten anyone that we could mention. But if they could pull off this win, that would be a game changer for them. Notre Dame is 6-1, but their one loss was to Northern Illinois, which I shouldn't talk about. But that was week 2. They just had a great game against Georgia Tech, was dominant throughout the entire game. I'm picking Notre Dame. They're a better team. Another favorite for me, but they are a better team, and I don't think Navy has the ability to upset Notre Dame this week.
I think they have the ability to. I just think Marcus Freeman has the boys playing exactly where he wants them to be playing. I think going on the road last week to Atlanta, tough environment against Georgia Tech, and defense really locked in, pulled that one out. Now it's a very interesting game going up to MetLife up in New Jersey, where the Giants and the Jets play. So that'll be a great environment for college football to be playing in a pro stadium. Technically a neutral site game.
2 neutral site games in a row, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think the Irish faithful and the fans will flood New Jersey and Hoboken, New Jersey, and take over the stadium. And I will be picking Notre Dame in this one as well.
Okay, we agree on another.
Let's go
and
Irish.
I just realized our next game that we're picking is another 2-ranked team, but it is Illinois and Oregon at Oregon.
Okay.
Illinois is ranked 20.
Yep.
Oregon's ranked 1 now. Oregon in 7-0, but the only other ranked teams that they've really played was Boise and Ohio State. Obviously, the big win against Ohio State was crazy. Illinois 6-1, and they lost to Penn State, which is ranked high, top.
Two, I think.
They're ranked
2.
2.
Yeah, they're right behind.
Oh,
2 or 3.
So that's a great team. That's their only loss.
Yeah, that'd be a good game.
Uh,
Who you picking?
I don't know. I want to see Illinois win. I just love kind of mixing things up and changing the game. I don't think they're going to, but I want to pick
No.
Illinois. Actually, no, I'm going to be confident in my answer. I'm picking Illinois.
Oh, there's a shocker. I'll put it in.
Yeah, I just want them to win, and so I'm going to pick them. That's
All right, then.
my only explanation. I want Oregon to go down. I want to see the number one spot kind of keep changing every single week, and chaos for sure in the top 25.
I was real impressed how Oregon went on the road back east to Purdue last week and just absolutely dominated that game. I mean, they won 35-0 against Purdue, shutting a team out after the highs and emotional wins against Ohio State the week before. I was very, very impressed. I think we had talked about that game this weekend when that spread was 30. And I was thinking, ooh, I think I'd take Purdue. I'm thinking a letdown, and no, not at all. Oregon just manhandled them. So I say they come back home to Eugene as the number one team in America, and they beat Illinois. So I will go Oregon.
Okay, you're picking the favorite. I get it.
Yeah.
That was an easy pick.
That's an easy pick for me.
I think one more game that we have to pick that will stir up some chaos, but is not talked about enough is the BYU UCF game.
Yeah, how about the Cougars?
The BYU is 7-0.
Yep.
But the spread is only minus 1.5, which is interesting. UCF is 3-4.
Okay.
But they almost beat number 9 Iowa State on Saturday, which was a very close game. I think they beat them, or Iowa State beat them 38-35.
Yes, because the kid dropped the darn ball running into the end zone.
Oh, yes.
Right.
That was the UCF kid, right?
Yeah, UCF going for the win against Iowa State, and he drops the ball on the 1 yard. I've seen that happen at least once a year, every year for the past very long time. You would think at some point these kids would learn. This happens much more than you think it does.
I want to say, like, what was going through his brain? Like, does he think he already crossed?
Yeah. Or he's just not thinking. You're in. You're on a high. You're on a high. It's a pick six. You're celebrating. You're checked out. You're not in the moment. So,
which is unfortunate for them because that could have been a crazy big win, but because he dropped the ball, they lost. Yeah. I'm gonna pick BYU here.
Okay.
I don't know much about either of these teams, if I'm gonna be honest. All I know is that BYU is 7-0. I don't think UCF can kind of come back after last week and beat them. So I'm going to pick the favorite and do BYU.
Yeah. BYU leading the big, what is that? The Big 12 conference, undefeated. And yeah, they're just playing BYU football. They love to run the ball. They play great defense. And they just kind of good old traditional style football, and they do it their way. So I'm going to agree with you on this one too. I'm picking BYU and think they just keep things going, leading that conference.
I agree. I think it should be a good week of games this coming Saturday, and I'm already looking forward to it. I feel like that kind of gets me through the week is the next week of college game day. And I mean, we have, like we said in the beginning, we have so many sports kind of starting up.
Right.
And it's never a dull moment in this sports world. So it'll definitely be fun. Our lesson that we wanted to talk about today, we kind of touched on in the very beginning when we were together on the couch, is that my parents always encouraged me and raised me to make things happen. And despite challenges, despite whatever else is going on, just do it, as Nike says. But just like going to Clemson, it was 2,000, more than 2,000 miles away.
Yep.
I didn't really know about Clemson until they won the national championship. Then I started to look into it because I wanted to go to school for sports broadcasting. And Clemson had a specific sports major, which is rare, but is now growing into other colleges. But when I was looking into colleges, they kind of stood out to me. But my parents kind of not warned me, but were like, Reagan, that could not be farther. You are
Mhm.
going all the way across country. Do you think you could do that? Like, do you
Yeah.
think you want to do that? And like, they raised me. I wanted to go to Clemson. That was my number one school. I wasn't choosing anyone else. And I was so dead set on Clemson that I was going to make it happen, just like they raised me. I was going to make sure I got into that school, make
Yep.
sure I could go to that school, and I would do anything to go to this
Yeah.
school.
Oh, well, good. I'm so happy for you because I think your mom and I, that's kind of at the very beginning, that's kind of what we said with all you girls is just do what makes you happy. Um, there are a lot of obstacles, there's a lot of challenges and things, but if you just put your mind to it and you go out and you just do it, good things will happen. And knowing that there was always a place for you somewhere. I think you were very fortunate to find your place, right off the bat
Mhm,
first. But
mhm,
there's a lot of kids out there that um, don't find their place and get discouraged about it. But it all works out. We've kind of had that motto of just making things happen, and not necessarily figuring it out the later. You do want to put some time and some thought into some things. That
mhm,
was kind of the reason why I made the trip back to see you. I
mhm.
just knew that it was an opportunity that presented itself, and just go for it. And I knew there were going to be a lot of other obstacles that could potentially get in my way of doing it, but what makes you happy and what would make me happy was coming back to come visit you, see you, have a good time, and I'll figure out everything else later. So,
And even like I take that on into now when I'm still a junior, but I am looking into like summer internships and
mhm,
jobs for my future. I am the first person to reach out, probably annoy these employers, but I'm reaching out to all of them, DMing them, emailing them any way I can just to set up a call, just to set up a Zoom or something to talk to them, for them to get to know me. I think that kind of goes into I am so driven because you guys instilled in me to make it happen. You have to make it
mhm.
happen for yourself.
Yes.
It's not going to just fall into your lap. I mean, eventually everything happens for a reason, but you got to put in the work
Hmm.
for your dreams to come true, as
Yeah.
cliche as it sounds.
No,
But
it's true. It's true.
mhm, yeah,
No,
that's
we did
always been a thing that you guys have talked about and raised me on. So I think
great.
that's kind of a big lesson for everyone who is listening to this point is just do it. Just go
Do
out
what
and
you want to do.
exactly. Don't let anyone tell you differently. And it is
Yep.
a big thing. Big
Yep.
thing in the Carey household.
Yes, it is. And I'm happy and proud of all you girls. So
Oh, well,
great job.
thank you.
And it
I
was
we
great.
do have
And it
to
was great seeing you this weekend
I am so
in
happy you're
person.
here. And now I'm back to regular scheduled programming.
Yeah. You got a month. Grind it out. Grind it out.
Yep.
You'll be home soon.
I'll be home soon for Thanksgiving, but we do have to wrap it up. It's been a long episode.
Yes.
It's fun though. I was so happy to have you podcast with me a little bit in the beginning and kind of take you around Clemson. I thought that was fun. But we do have to wrap it up for this week, and I'm excited to see where all these sports go. And the World Series, we'll have a lot to talk about next week, which is exciting.
Should be fun. Should be a great
Should
week.
I love you, Dad.
Love you, Ray.
All right, I'll see you next week.
Raise on sports. Peace out.
Bye.